so here we have our sample. We have it labeled 300 because it came from our number 300. And then what we do is for our dilution, we dilute, our dilution factor is 1 to 100. So what I'll do is I'll take another centrifuge tube, open that up. I'll also label it dilution so I don't get it mixed up with the other one. And then what I'll do is I'll take 990 microliters of our extender solution, and then I'll put that into our tube. And then I'll take 10 microliters from our sample and pop that in our tube. Just invert this a couple times. Gets a little finicky. And then what we'd like to see is sometimes it'll be a bit stringy, but as long as like it's pretty in the extender, it'll be good. So move this out the way. And then from here, what I'll do is I'll take about 10 microliters again, now just the dilution, and I'll put that into our nose. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go, I like to start in the corner just so I can go across easier, but what we're gonna do is count the sample. We're gonna look at the motility. So we have 3 separate categories. We'll have our moving, which are the ones that are moving pretty decently fast, our slower moving, and then we'll have our stationary, which are not moving and are dead. So yeah. Like this one, compared to those other 2, I would say is our slower moving one. Stationary, and so on. And then we'll stop doing this once we get to 100 total. So here from this side, we have a moving count of about 61, the slower moving 9, and then our stationary 30. From here, we're gonna go and do the concentration. Okay, so it's kind of hard to see on the computer. You'll see it better in the microscope, but what we're gonna look for is this pretty decently wide grid. I'd say it's like the 12 by 12. So what we have here is 4, we have about, the number of boxes doesn't really count, but we have this box here that we're looking at, this grid here, this grid, and then our center grid. So in the 4 corners and then in the center. And then what we'll do here is we just count the number of cells we see per group, so I'll do that now actually. So that gives us a total of 16. And then where we'll go from here is we will take that total of 16, we divide that by the number of grids counted in, which was 5, and then we get the number 3.2. This 3.2 isn't just a 3.2, it's 3.2 times 10 to the 4th, because that's our concentration. And then what we'll do from there is we will multiply it by 100 since we have to count our dilution factor in. So instead of just 3.2 for this concentration, we have a number 3.2 times 10 to the 6th. And then we just do the same thing on the other side. So I'll reset this. And then we'll do our motility and then our concentration again. And then you'll see me skipping like these clusters of cells. Sometimes, you know, you'll be able to count how many, but because of the position and just how unfocused this is, which I can fix, but it's just easier to either give your best assumption or if it's like a really big cluster to just move on. So I can only really make out like a couple, I'll say like 5, but so this side was a little worse, which isn't uncommon, but we have 35, 13, and then 52. And we'll just do our concentration again. And then I'll try and show you what I see. So I'm looking in this top left corner grid, showing, but you'll see that there is none in here, so that's 0. We'll just move on to the next one. This section, our top right, we only really see 1 in here, so we'll count that one, and then we'll just move on. Here, see, this is our bottom right. We have just 1, and this one, we have 2 more. So 3 in that one, and then in this bottom left we only have 1, and then in our center we have 2. So for that we get a total of 7, and then we just do the same thing we did on the other side for the concentration. So we'll take that 7, divide that by, not that one. We'll divide that by 5, we'll get 1.4, so that is really a 1.4 times 10 to the 4th for the concentration, and then we multiply that by 100, which is our dilution factor, to get 1.4 times 10 to the 6th. 4 times 10 to the 6th. And yeah, we're done.